Welcome back to part 4 of me beating Calamity while everyone asks me to prove it and turn on my face cam. In the last episode I made my way through all the mid-hard mode bosses, culminating in the second hardest fight so far, which was honestly still kinda easy. The most important item unlocked by Golem comes from the scoria ore found in the Abyss, and without armour or accessories to extend my breath time, the only way I can survive long enough to collect any of it is thanks to Amadas, the Sea King. By asking him for help, I get a buff which entirely protects me from the effects of the Abyss. There is one small catch however. Taking a hit will instantly remove the Sea King's blessing, leaving me entirely unprotected against the full weight of the ocean pressing down on me, so I have to be incredibly careful when using it. $119 scoria, that's quite a bit. I can make life alloy now. The main thing is the Stygian shield. Okay, ornate shield. And then Stygian shields. This is what's going to save the rest of the run perhaps. I think it might finally be better than the claymore, as long as it works well mounted. But what it allows you to do is charge a massive dash. And you can dash through enemies to deal damage and get iframes. Okay, so it does work well mounted, but it unmounts me. But it's faster than this, it's faster than this, and goes further than it. And I just have to remount after doing it. I think it might finally be better. I'm going to preemptively put these away. I've decided that that is the main one now. Scoria also unlocks my next health upgrade, Miracle Fruit. And after collecting some plague canisters from the jungle, my next minion upgrade, the Plague Blossom Staff. I think this takes up 2 minion slots. Yeah, and then I can use this as well. So hopefully that's a good amount of damage. I know that it rarely misses. The post-Golem pre-cultist stage of the game has 4 different bosses to take down, with each of them posing a unique challenge with such limited mobility. I decided to start off by attempting the Empress of Light, since fighting her with the Witch's Broom is actually one of the best strategies in vanilla. This works pretty well for phase 1, with most attacks feeling dodgeable with the Witch's Broom alone. In phase 2 however, the Witch's Broom just doesn't seem to have the speed required thanks to her more random, faster and overlapping attacks in Revengeance and Death mode. I take a small break from the Empress to fight the Martians in the hope that they might give me some better weapons. The invasion itself is really easy thanks to my earlier Blood Moon setup, and the Martian saucers aren't too difficult either once I get the hang of them. Going into this I was a little worried about their final phase, but it turns out I can just bonk them a few times with the Stygian shield until they self-destruct. Yep, that worked. Sadly, after testing all the loot, none of it seems to be better than what I already have, and after making no progress on Empress across 3 more attempts, I decide to move on to another boss. And what I mean by move on to another boss is spend an hour hammering platforms and removing background walls in the Vernal Pass, only to barely make a dent in the Plaguebringer Goliath, before crashing out and fighting Ravager instead. This is a good time to bring up the fact that in addition to the dash, the Stygian shield also has a right click attack that throws the shield out like a boomerang, similar to the Sergeant United shield from vanilla. This is pretty decent against a single target, but for Ravager I really need to find something that can pierce through the rock walls and hit many of his segments. After testing a few different options, what ends up working incredibly well is Plague Nades, as even if they get blocked by the pillars, the bees that explode out of them still target Ravager itself, and quickly swarm the multiple segments for insanely high damage. This makes getting to the second phase much more feasible, but everything after that remains an uphill struggle. Okay, that worked really well until it didn't. I think this will work in general. Since Plague Nades are consumable, I also have to stop every few attempts to go farm Queen Bee and plague enemies to get more of them, which isn't exactly difficult, but certainly a little annoying. At some point I realise that there's probably more bees than can actually hit the boss thanks to iframes, so start switching to the auto radical throw for a few seconds after building my swarm. there's still time to mess it up. Look, if I get hit once. Are you kidding me? Oh no. After another fail and some more farming for plague nades, I finally lock in long enough to defeat Ravager. Okay, head is about to come off. Try not to throw. Easy, easy, easy. Barely even had to try there. What was it, only like one attempt, yeah? The permanent rage upgrade is nice, but the only weapon that drops is the sentry, which has a very low range. I defeat it another few times and test out some of the other weapons, but they're also pretty underwhelming. That's not really an issue though, since I won't exactly get a chance to use them against the next boss anyway. Maybe Duke is the way. I've not tried Duke. This is gonna go really badly. I can already tell. Or maybe not. Just dash through him with the shield all the time. This actually might work. That was unironically going quite well. Yeah, I just need to get faster. This is quite a fun way to fight a boss, I have to say. This is definitely 100% possible. I just need to get a good run. Oh, I need to do a bit better than that. Ah. 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 One. Ah. That's the closest I've been, I think. 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 1, 2. Whoa, he just kept going. Below 20% Duke in Death apparently just dashes endlessly. Oh, that's going to be awful then. Oh my god. Oh, I was so close at the end there. I was so locked in, just trying not to get distracted by a singular thing. Oh, I could have healed the whole time. Yeah, you're right. Didn't need it. Didn't need the heal. Of course. Of course I get the 1 in 15 drop of Fishron wings, the best pre-Moonlord wings, in a run where I can't use them. Ah, that is a relief though, that is... I'm glad that is over. How's the shrimpy truffle then? Okay, so obviously outside of water, bad. But... if I make it rain... Okay, yeah, that's a lot faster. That might allow me to beat Empress. Oh, I forgot that it would do that. Oh, I'm so lucky I didn't get hit by any of those.
Turns out, the Shrimpy Truffle dropped by Duke is exactly what I needed to get an edge over the Empress. While it's raining, this mount gets a massive speed boost and grants 15% extra damage. And with either the Torrential or Caustic Tier, I can make sure it's always raining to get this boost. This makes dodging those faster attacks much easier and makes the entire fight shorter, meaning less dodging is required in the first place. So after a handful of new attempts with the Shrimpy Truffle, I come out on top.
This might be it. If I can just survive long enough. Come on, die, 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 die. There we go.
With that, there's only one boss left in this section of the game, and sadly, that boss is the Plaguebringer Goliath.
Yeah, I think we need a better strategy for PBG. I could try PBG on the surface, because someone was saying that she doesn't enrage there. So significantly better, actually. If I can get used to when she dashes, I think it's possible.
And so it was once again time to make some changes to my arena, this time placing down and actuating a bunch of lizard bricks to turn it into a jungle.
I think I'm a much bigger arena, and I've maybe got this.
So after expanding it even further, I get straight into attempts, with an unexpectedly good run on my second try on the new arena.
That was going really well. I think another few attempts and we can do that.
Of course, this was just beginner's luck, and in reality it would take a lot more than just a few attempts. The overall strategy is incredibly simple. Fly in a mostly straight line while trying to dodge its stingers and minions. Then when it dashes, I use my own dash from the Stygian shield to counter. The challenge comes in the execution, as the high damage from the Plaguebringer is very punishing to any mistakes I make, and its minions can quickly stack up if I don't take them out fast enough.
Yeah, if it tries to dash from behind me, it's fine. I can get around that. If it tries to dash from in front of me, I'm screwed, because I'm moving towards it. I think part of it is just luck with where the dashes start from. If the dashes start from behind me, I've got a much better chance. Come on, last little bit of rage and adrenaline to get me through. Heal in a second. Okay, I think I got it. Oh, that's so painful. Ah! Adrenaline off at least. We may actually get a second off, although I'm sure me saying that has made it literally impossible for that to happen. Or maybe not. Okay, come on. do this. Here we go. Easy. I mean, obviously not, but we did get there. Oh, that dropped a lot of things.
With the Plaguebringer destroyed, I was now free to take down the cultist and finish up Hardmode. Well, not quite, as there's arguably one more loose end to tie up. Betsy. There's a bit of a debate as to whether she counts as a boss or not, but just to be safe I'm going to fight her anyway. My various sentry and sentry-like magic weapons are able to handle most of the normal enemies from the Old One's army, and I use the plague-tainted SMG I crafted from the Plaguebringer's drops for any stragglers or mini-bosses. It's also worth shouting out the System Bane is a much shorter lived sentry-like rogue weapon. Not that rogues have a reason to fight the Old One's army in the first place though. Once Betsy spawns, I focus almost exclusively on her while dodging with the Shrimpy Truffle, which seems pretty well suited to her speed and attacks.
Wait, have I actually somehow beaten Old One's army without a sentry for the Old One's army and without armor or accessories? Because that's a little bit insane, I have to say.
With that little side quest out of the way, I could get back to the main path and move on to the lunatic cultist. By knowing exactly where he's going to teleport above me, I can start the fight with a massive burst of damage from all my passive sources. After that, it's just a case of trying my best to dodge his many attacks with the Shrimpy Truffle. This first attempt was going really well until the Phantasmal Dragon spawned, which is just a little too fast for me to dodge and a little too tanky for me to take down quickly. Even still, it proved that a victory was well within reach. It was just a matter of how many attempts it would take.
It's the knockback that gets me. It's so annoying having to deal with knockback. I like how it deals like 10% damage instantly. That does feel quite good. I think this may be the one. Yeah, there we go.
The pillars are mostly manageable thanks to the reduced spawn rate from calming and zen potions, allowing me to focus on just a few enemies at once instead of getting swarmed. With the lunar fragments they drop, I craft and test a bunch of new weapons, then very intentionally die to Moonlord, as there's still one more hard mode boss before him.
Looks like for the most part I can just outrun it.
The first phase of this fight is pretty easy with the Shrimpy Truffle, but once it splits into two they become faster and harder to dodge, so I switched to the Stygian Shield every now and then to dash through them and build some extra distance.
Okay, if I get it lined up, that is phase 1 done.
At this point I knew this would be the winning strategy. I just had to get faster at swapping to my shield and stop making stupid mistakes.
Ah, the knockback. That would have done it, I think, if I hadn't thrown it at the end. Ah! Why did I not remount? I swear I remounted there. Okay, that's only one of them that's been defeated. I need to defeat both in death. And both are defeated. And I am defeated. That kind of worked. I will take it.
With access to Astral Ore, I can now craft the Ethereal Core for an extra 50 mana, and upgrade my Biome Blade to the True Biome Blade.
Okay. I need to look at all the different attunements for this as well. Maybe this doesn't work like the other Biome Blade does. Oh no. For the dash to work with this one, I have to actually hit enemies. And then I release it, and then I can dash. Okay, so this is another dash weapon. I think Stygian Shield's just better for this. For dashing anyway. Galactica Singularities are actually useful pre-Moonlord, but I think it's only for one specific weapon, and it's the Cosmic Rainbow. Right, let's test this out then, because this should be another very easy passive damage dealer. Okay, it deals about 1,600, 1,500 damage, and it should cover a really big area, to be honest. Why didn't you use this on Deus? Because I forgot. It would have probably melted Deus. In fact, let's get a Star Core and try it. Okay, it doesn't actually take that much damage. Less than I thought it would. Problem is, it probably just flies through it in like 3 seconds anyway. I don't need to take down Deus again, I was just curious if it would melt him. Oh, I'm slow again. Yeah. If it stops raining, I'm dead. I could just go for Moonlord now. And I think that's exactly what I might do. Yeah, I don't actually want to be using any of these. Yeah, I should probably get my weapons sorted before I start the fight. These are my 3 weapon options. Okay, so this is about 1,200 damage. This doesn't seem to be hitting. Like, taking it to SMG might be good for it. Let's give it a try. Okay, about 1,600 DPS.
I never quite work out which weapon is the best for Moonlord, but thankfully I do work out how to dodge him, at least for the most part.
I can outrun it, but just. Only just.
The speed of the Shrimpy Truffle during rain allows me to keep him just on the edge of my screen, where I can weave up and down and dodge his attacks. Then for the Death Laser, I just need to be incredibly vigilant with timing and swap to the Rod of Discord to avoid it. From there, it's just a matter of slowly improving at the fight and praying that I don't get hit.
Oh. Really wasted that adrenaline because his eye isn't even open. But I think I'll still get the eye down this rotation. Yeah, okay. Onto the core. Ah. Really good damage on this one. Already into phase 3, I think. Not quite. Oh, I'm dead. One bit of knockback, and I'm dead. That's the problem. I can execute the fight perfectly, and that'll do it. It's just all the times that I'm not executing the fight perfectly that are the problem. Come on. Come on. Come on. There we go. There we go. Ah. I did say if I execute it perfectly. That wasn't perfect, but it was pretty close. I think I only got hit like 3 or 4 times. 7. 7 times. Close enough.
This section of the game was definitely a lot harder than what came before, but even then it's only really a warm-up for what's still to come. To see that though, you'll have to wait for the next episode. Thank you very much for watching this one, and a special thanks to my patrons for their continued support.